trouble medically.
Move. They need to move. Different people have different tolerance levels. If people are getting sick, they need to take the losses financially and get out of where they are. Your personal health is more important than anything else.
Do you say that to 65% of Pennsylvania, 50% of New York? Or
No, I'd say fight where you can fight and make a difference. But if I had kids with health issues because they're living in the Barnett Shell, or if I had health issues living in the Barnett Shell, I'd move.
The gas industry hit back, mounting a smear campaign against Al Armendariz, Calvin Tillman, and openly challenging Lisa Parr in the media. But possibly the most extreme reaction was to Stephen Shiloh Lipsky. Range Resources filed a $4 million defamation lawsuit against the Lipsky family, a slap suit meant to keep them quiet. The gas industry had defended many lawsuits extremely aggressively, but this was the first time that I knew about that they were actually taking a family to court. But behind closed doors, the gas industry's strategy was even uglier. At a Texas oil and gas industry conference, reporters made tape recordings of gas industry strategy, recording several brainstorming and tactic-sharing conversations.
We have several former PSYOPS folks that work for us at Range because they're very comfortable in dealing with localized issues in local governments. Really all they do is spend most of their time helping folks develop local ordinances and things like that. Having that understanding of PSYOPS in the Army and in the Middle East has applied very helpfully here for us in Pennsylvania.
Psychological operations are employed in a war zone to destabilize a population from insurgency against an invading army. PSYOPs were used by the American military in Vietnam and Iraq, and here the gas industry was employing former PSYOPs experts to actually write local laws and develop techniques to be used against landowners fighting the gas industry in Texas and in Pennsylvania. And Chesapeake had its own plan, characterizing people fighting the gas industry as insurgents.
The Chesapeake has got nearly 100 people whose sole jobs are to deal with community relations. We have got people going out and speaking in the community every night. Basically, my entire career has been dealing with audiences and chemical risk. In almost every instance where I've gone up against a strong activist insurgency, it does not matter what the facts are, because the facts stand in the way of your ability to raise funds.
The gas industry was trading notes on their war effort.
If you're a PR representative in this industry, in this room today, recommend you do three things. Download the U.S. Army/Marine Corps counterinsurgency manual, because we are dealing with an insurgency. There's a lot of good lessons in there. Coming from a military background, I found the insight in that extremely remarkable. With that said, there's a course provided by Harvard and MIT called Dealing with an Angry Public. Take that course. A lot of the officers in our military are attending this course.
Counterinsurgency, strategies for managing outrage, destabilization of communities. These are terms of war. But like the PowerPoint says, you can't dramatically change global energy without ruffling some feathers. It didn't seem to matter that the Defense Department had ruled that it was illegal for the military to use PSYOPs techniques against Americans. And of course, the next logical step would be to start looking for some terrorists. Tom Ridge, former governor of Pennsylvania, and the former and first head of the Department of Homeland Security, appointed right after 9/11, signs on to be the chief spokesman for the Marcellus Shale Coalition, an industry group that fights environmental regulation of gas drilling. The very next month, the Pennsylvania Department of Homeland Security begins issuing briefs that lists anti-fracking protest groups as possible eco-terrorists. The bulletin said that environmental extremism trending towards eco-terrorism and criminality was a rising threat to the security of Pennsylvania. Virginia Cody, a retired Air Force officer living near Dimmock, was forwarded the August 30th bulletin. She then posted it on a gas drilling listserv. When she did that, unbelievably, Pennsylvania Homeland Security Chief James Powers wrote her an email assuming that she was a pro-gas drilling stakeholder, actually indicated that the Pennsylvania Department of Homeland Security had communication with pro-drilling groups like the Marcellus Shale Coalition. PA Homeland Security was showing up at protests, spying on gas drilling activists, but they weren't only sending the information to law enforcement, they were sending it to the gas industry. Lisa Baker, my state senator, a Republican, held hearings into the misconduct.
Raise your right hand for me. We're going to swear in.
For the first time in my life, I do not feel secure in my home. I worry that what I say on the phone is being recorded. I wonder if my emails are still being monitored.
Mr. Powers, I have not had one person come forward and say they believe these bulletins were vital.
The information that's sought by the local municipalities was situational awareness, situational awareness. It's just situational awareness. It was just about situational awareness.
None of that really makes any sense to me at all, that we would go monitor private citizens and private groups and they're not a threat to us, is what you're just saying. That's just for awareness. It makes absolutely no sense, and it does make me think, where are we living?
As it turned out, the state of Pennsylvania had a contract with a group called the Institute of Terrorism Research and Response. A quick web search turned up their website, which featured pictures of a scary owl, an Israeli SWAT team member, and a strange blue hand playing chess.
So what is your payroll? What is your employee payroll? Is it 3? Is it 100? What is it? I'm just curious.
It's more than 3. It's less than 100.
You know, you're very creepy.
No,
you're very scary.
No, I'm trying to be
I don't know if you're bipolar or you have issues. I mean, you're a very scary individual.
Senator Furlow, and this is not for
Okay, but let me
us
ask
to
a
make
specific question.
comments about individuals
I have 12 staff
personally.
people. I'm just asking a question. How many employees do you have?
We have about 15 employees, and that doesn't include the 70-some additional employees that
Operatives or whatever you call them? Or?
People who
This is just too unbelievable, too surreal, this hearing.
After the hearings, James Powers resigned, but there were no indictments, no charges, no real investigation of the recipients of these Pennsylvania intelligence bulletins, including Tom Ridge's Marcellus Shale Coalition. The trust barrier had been broken. From that moment on, none of us knew if our names appeared on lists of possible terrorists somewhere in a strange blue filing cabinet. And 2 years of hard-fought progress in Pennsylvania was about to unravel. When the waterline in Dimmock was announced, it had a ripple effect across the state. Towns and municipalities drafted ordinances to ban drilling outright at the local level, including the entire city of Pittsburgh.
850,000 people, and I'm one of them, drink water out of the Monongahela River. When it tastes funny, I get nervous, and it tastes funny.
Really, this is about a civil rights issue. This is about our inalienable rights. I said, can you regulate my inalienable rights that are embodied in the Pennsylvania Constitution to clean air, clean water, and the preservation of the natural environment for generations, for now and for generations to come? Can you regulate those rights away? No.
But an election was underway, and the leading candidate, Tom Corbett, had accepted $1.6 million in campaign contributions